you must let me know, okay? All right, good morning to you, Mandy. Good morning to you, Vincent. Okay, let's start our morning MAO right now. Okay. All right, good morning to all of you. Today is the 13th of July, Tuesday, our Super Tuesday once again. So Super Tuesday means I'm going to hear my voice repetitively. Which now, from now 9:40 a.m. until probably about 11 o'clock, we're talking non-stop about MAO. Then after that, we take a break. Now, I'm supposed to have a afternoon MAO, but I just saw something that just popped up. So I can't have my afternoon MAO, right? But maybe I will just do a short session, very pre-recorded. I see how it goes. But then after that, right, at this, what they call, at about about this 2:30 like that. Okay, we should have a short half an hour session on the Super Tuesday before Susan come on board to do her trade live session. Okay, at about 3 o'clock. All right, so today's schedule a little bit packed because we have some stuff to handle. Then of course Susan will do her Susan go live until 5 p.m. and then we take a break. Yeah, because later tonight I have a little TWB introductory session, all right, at about 8 o'clock today. Okay, all right, so let's just begin our morning MAO right now. Okay, so sorry, the rain was pouring, it was terrible. I couldn't really step up from the coffee shop, and there was no umbrella with me. That was bad. Okay, all right, good morning to you. This John and Vincent once again. All right, guys, today the caption, all right, I know that it's a bit off market, doesn't make sense with market, but I was just contemplating because today got a lot of good topics to share, but eventually I decided to choose this topic because I think this is very important. Around racism shouldn't be condoned, and of course, online bully should stop. All right, this is something that we've been seeing ourselves, and unfortunately, during the game in the Euro game where England meets Italy, and they went to extra time, and unfortunately, the three of them, okay, they were the penalty takers, and they happened to miss. Now, to miss penalty, you know, in a big game like this is quite understandable. It's nerve-wracking, but unfortunately, they are of what they call of color, and straight away, you know, typically these English fans, these hooligans, they behave really terrible, and they really whack them online very badly, and of course, that causes Boris Johnson to come back and stop all this and get the authorities to come in and also state a very powerful statement, crawl back under your rocks. I think it's a very powerful statement from a leader, and I salute him for saying that. So we can go into this at Facebook and Twitter was under fire after many players, these three players were all facing racial abuse online. So they were Rashford, Sancho, and Saka. They were all the target of the racial abuse because of England losing the game. It's quite bad, honestly, for them to lose the game and behave like that. It's really very bad. I mean, think about this. The last time England go to a major game final was many years ago, and they should be very happy that they made to this stage, you know. But rather than appreciating the team, they do this. So it's terrible, right? But fortunately, Facebook and Twitter acted quickly to remove posts and accounts. That's good, but that is not going to stop the hurt. All right, so guys, really, cyberbullying is very scary and dangerous. Don't do that. We can have our unhappiness, we can express it, you know, through that. But, you know, don't be keyboard warriors. There are so many keyboard warriors in the world, and they just only want to say what they want to say. And at the end of the day, it's all right. They don't take responsibility. And of course, if our kids, especially kids, are being cyberbullied, right, you know, sometimes they can get in a very detrimental effect, all right, on them. So really, we must stop, okay? And it's very clear what someone said this earlier. It all came from the top. If the parents stop that, the children won't do it. You understand, right? So I think that is very important, and we should make sure that we keep our conduct on check. So that's why Boris Johnson, the PMs, came in and said that to tell all the racist abusers to stop it. All right, crawl back under your rock. All right, I think it's a very good thing he do because it's quite a shameful thingy, honestly, to do that. All right, in case you don't know what this crawl back under your rock means, bugs and other lower creatures tend to live under rocks, right? So it's something you will tell someone who's annoyed you or something, telling them to go away. So of course, anytime really you want to really have a better way to express to someone, tell him to crawl back under your rocks, okay? It's for lower creatures, okay? I think that's a very good one. All right, good morning to you, Diana and Gary. All right, so before we start our morning MAO, once again, I seriously want you guys to take note of the disclaimer. All right, if you continue to stay on, means you indemnified me, all right, for whatever I share later. Okay. Now, this is a very, very cute cartoon that I think that probably the bear traders will have this feeling right now. All right, bear traders, we have this feeling right now. All right, now PETA, right, is the organization that so-called protect endangered animal, right? So apparently, right, it's saying that, okay, they are being abused. All right, the bears are eaten alive. So what you saw is that the bulls are actually really going for the market. We have the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones at record level, okay? Record level in terms of closing, not as in high, but still, this really probably is going to skin the bears alive, right? I know many bears are pretty pissed off and they don't know what's going on because what they learn in the market is no longer applicable. And that's why bears are really having a bit of like this type of syndrome whereby they say that, oh my God, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't stuff like that. And recently, I was just talking to a few people recently over the weekend, and they asked me about my view on the market. I keep on telling them the same thing. I say that as long as the granddaddy has the money, the printing machine, and the weaponry that is in space watching down us, there's no way the stock market can go down. Now, do note, the stock market, if it can come down, is on its own. So example, right, later in the second half of the MAO, I'll talk about Vietnam market. Yes, Vietnam, okay? All right, Vietnam market is off by almost 10% recently, all right? Recently down by almost 10% because foreign investors get out. But you can see my point is that if the funds is to exit, actually the foreign fund exit, right, no matter what you tell me, the market will come down. So if let's say now if the funds are so abundant in America, right, there's no other way the American market can come down. And of course, if the American market is up, jolly well, it will spread itself the euphoria or the sentiment down to other countries. But of course, we do see that the Asian markets are not following through. As a matter of fact itself, right, the US market is at a high level, right? But most of the Asian stocks are at the bottom or the mid-draft. All right, example, like now our STI, right? Our STI now, what's the level of STI? Let me just double check. A quick one. Our STI now, Straits Times Index now, is trading at, how much is that now today? Today is trading at 3164, all right, 3164. But the all-time high for STI is at 3,900, if not wrong, right? So, but the thing is this, that we're talking about nearly like probably, what, 20% to 30% away from that level. But that level was done back in 2008, all right? So the question is this, okay, now the market is now 2021 and the Dow Jones is at 35,000. How come our STI is still at 3164? So that is my point here, because we don't have the type of luxury to print and to pump and to hold the market as we want. All right, so that is a different there, okay? So that's why I'll tell you this. There's only one reason the stock market in US will come down is because the problem lies in that country itself, which means that nothing in the world can bring the stock market down, for US especially. As a matter of fact, right, if any time, like example, crypto is to plunge, the stock market will benefit because the funds go back to the stock market. If let's say example like Vietnam stock market comes down, right, and this foreign institution got nowhere to go, right, it go back to the US stock market. Because US stock market is still, no matter how they notice that since 1896 until now, the stock market got only one direction, is eventually up. The word is eventually up. That's why Warren Buffett also said that, right? You know, if there's anything you cannot invest, you don't want to invest, then invest into the S&P Index, ETF. Remember, Warren Buffett said that. Because like it or don't like it, I'm pretty sure as long as the world is still around, right, in about another 10 years down the road, right, the Dow Jones will be trading at 50,000. I repeat myself one more time. I strongly believe that in another 10 years' time, the Dow Jones will see 50,000. I'm not kidding you. Yes, indeed. Because that is how things work, okay, in the US stock market. All right. So the thing is, bears are being eaten alive? Well, it seems to be. All right. So one of the biggest bear in the market, you should know, is George Soros, right? This is George Soros. Of course, this is his town. It's already at his 90s, okay? In fact, George Soros and Warren Buffett they actually born on in the same year, 1930. So this year is their 91 birthday. Yeah, 91 birthday. Okay. So George Soros says short-term volatility is greatest at turning point. And diminish as a trend becomes established. I think this is a very good way to explain to you what is a BNB. Remember what's a BNB, guys? All right, all my students, what's a BNB? Remember? Okay, so BNB basically is something like this, right? Okay, sorry, the color cannot see. Okay, this is better. All right, BNB, right, where the high is higher than the previous high, the low is lower than the previous low. So which means that when you see a BNB, that means that the volatility is there, because to create a BNB, the market must go up, must go down, must move a lot during the whole day. So then usually that will be a potential turning point, right? Because we know that as a BNB, we know that the structure we do is that we put the resistance and the low, the high and the low as a resistance, and if the market breaks above, it go higher, if it breaks down, it go lower, right? So that is exactly what George Soros meant. All right, as if I read correctly, okay? So short-term volatility is greatest at turning point, and it will diminish when the trend established. So once the trend has to move already, right, you see you get yourself in a very nice position, you can relax yourself and then make money. So that is what I think that we can put TWB system inferring with this George Soros sharing here. So of course, George Soros is a trading legend. All right, it's about how to put a trading strategy to utilize trends. Okay, I think that's a very powerful statement here. Don't you agree? Okay, so that is what I need to do every day. I will do this with you, how to become a successful trader. And of course, we take the quotes of the day to share with you. All right. Yeah, a moment. Okay. All right, so what are the reasons to stay bullish for now? All right, every morning I'll start with the bullishness. As long as the market trend is bullish now, my starting point will be a bullish. Until one day the market turns bearish, then you see me turning around. I'll tell you what are the reasons to be bearish and what are reasons to be bullish as alternate views, okay? All right, good morning to you, Diana. Good to see you. Okay, let's continue. Now, of course, what we saw last night, all right, initially there was some profit taking. Then after that, the market went all the way up, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, Russell, all went up, okay? So this shows that the market is really full of money. There's so much money available in the system. There's no way the stock market is going to come off, all right? This is the fact of life that you must accept it, okay? There's nothing we can change for this market. It's very clear cut. So the question is this: can the market sustain all the way like that? All right, that is the thing that we are here every morning to discuss. And I can tell you, in my opinion itself, right, like it or don't like it, this is like a very big balloon blown out of proportion already. But as long as the elasticity of the balloon can hold the amount of air, it will still become bigger. So of course, what will happen naturally, as it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, there will be a point whereby the elasticity of the rubbers, okay, overstretch. And then after that, there will be a breaking point. Now, usually you don't burst by itself. There must be some catalyst. This catalyst, once it goes in like a pin, once you poke it, because of the stretching of it, wow, bang, that will likely be happening. So that's the reason why in the market, we keep on reminding traders that you can do whatever you want. As long as the market can accept the view right now and the trend is this direction, there's nothing going to change the outcome. But there will be a point whereby you know that this is too much and you still continue. That is where all the troubles arises. So the same thing like you eat too much, right? You know that you are too much already. Then what will happen? You keep on stuffing yourself. There'll be a point you just couldn't take it, and either you do it right beside your table or you rush to the toilet. Okay, all right, and you just regurgitate everything out. All right, that's what's happening right now in the market. So you can see now the Dow Jones, right? Look at it. In May, the Dow Jones was trading at 35,000, and then after that, when it hit 35,000, almost instantly a U-turn and go all the way down to the 33,600 level. You see that? Almost within just a few days, from the highest point to the lowest point, it takes about probably 5 days. Yeah, about 6-7 days, or 7 days. About 7 days, the market U-turn and come all the way down, all right? Then after that, the market from this point here itself on 21st of June went all the way up to today. And now on the 12th of July, we are now back to 35,000, okay? So that is the reason why you can see no matter how the market is very, very strong. The only thing that I want you guys to just take note for today, just try to share a little bit. This is the low back then. This is the second low. And this is the third low, right? You notice that the low actually got slower this every time when the market pulls back. So you cannot deny this. If there's going to be any pullback later on, is that right? Most likely the market will go lower than the low previously on the 21st of June. Okay, so this is just a mindful sharing here. But at the moment now, the market is superly bullish. You can see that no matter how the market sell, the market when it recover is the same way. So you can see why we practice this chocolate bar theory, because the way the market sell and the way it go up, right, or the other way around, is always in a very interesting repeated pattern way. All right, so the Dow Jones is very bullish right now, and I've been telling you guys it's very bullish. Go slow with your shorts. If not, handle it with care. Okay, so that's what I shared with you. I just hope that you guys remember what I said. Okay, all right, so that is the Dow Jones for all of us. Okay. And of course, look at S&P 500. Now, from the pandemic time, this is pandemic time, all the way it dropped down to the lowest point in about 21 trading days. The market stabilized, and that's about probably about 2,180 point around there. Okay, so of course, no one expected the market will bottom out so fast, but we did. And now from March last year, all the way until today, all right, just 1 year, okay, 1 year and about 3 months, 3 months to 4 months, the market has went up by 100%. 100%. I mean, this is really the craziest ever rally in the shortest of period of time after a market that's down by 30%. So we're talking about a market is down by 30% and recovered 100% from the low. This is why the funds, the money, the abundance of liquidity is the one that is really clear to tell you that you cannot mess with the Federal Reserve. When the Federal Reserve say I want to buy, it means they will be buying, and there's no way you can deny the power of this money here. Okay, so guys, this is what is happening right now in this US market. Undeniable, the strength is incredible, and that's this is how it works at the moment now. Super bullish at the moment right now. Okay. All right. So of course, as I said many times before, when the market is super bullish, then it's just a matter of time. This bullishness will stop, right? So I'll talk about that later on through a market called the Vietnam Index. And then you can see this better. Okay. All right. Just give me a moment. There's a lot of messages coming in. And I do see gold trading higher right now, right? Gold trading at 1810 right now. Congratulations to those who have been buying gold. Okay. All right. Now, of course, we must take note of this. The financial stocks is the one doing quite well. Financial stock, the one in yellow. Okay, the financial stock have been leading it yesterday. So because financial stock tomorrow will start their earnings already. Yes, tomorrow. So we have all the sectors here. The one that is down yesterday was only the consumer staples. The rest is all okay. Financial stock is the one that's moving. Of course, on top of them is the energy sector. But that one just came in last part of it. You can see the black color line, right? It only started to move from 11 a.m. yesterday. When I say 11 a.m. is US time. All right, so where we go? All right, you may want to take note of this. This is all the earnings for coming. So today we will have JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. They will be coming out their earnings. Then after that, tomorrow we have Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, BlackRock. Then after that we have Morgan Stanley. Then we last one on Friday. I think Friday we don't have much, no banks. All right, practically these are the banks here. Now, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the banks will go first, and we do expect that the banks will do pretty well. Okay, I repeat, we do expect the bank to do pretty well. The only question is, can they produce the same numbers the next time, the next quarter? That is the question mark, because that is the one people will want to ask for, because people have been buying on anticipation already, right? So if if they're going to tell you that, okay, we do very well last quarter because it is supposed to be like that, but after that, my next quarter, I don't expect to be like this, or my forecast the next 6 months is not so good, then of course the market will take advantage of this and do profit taking. Okay, so this is the week. So every day I'll just talk about this so you can know which counter to watch out for. Okay, technologies one are actually mostly on the third week. We have Apple, we have Facebook, all these on the third week. Second week, we don't have much big ones. I mean, there are all the blue chips, but not really anyone that is going to be a game changer. Maybe Netflix, maybe we have Coca-Cola, maybe Johnson & Johnson, maybe. But the rest is like, okay, I mean, blue chips, but not that fantastic. I mean, Twitter is a bit here and there. Okay, so you got an idea? Cool, right? So the second half of the MAO, I'll talk about the New York Stock Exchange in terms of the new 52 weeks high that you see something quite inversely is happening. And we talk about the market breadth is not following exactly too. And of course, this guy called Mike Wilson. Now, Mike Wilson is a US chief equity strategist, and he's a CIO, Chief Investment Officer for Morgan Stanley. Now, he has predicted a few good calls like example, in 2020, he predicted the market will come down, and indeed it really happened. So this time now, he's talked about this. Now, because this whole thing that he shares is quite lengthy, so I only pluck out 1/3 of it. Tomorrow, I'll continue with that, because I need to read through first. There's a lot of things that I need to really understand what I'm trying to put across before I can share this with you, right? Because if not, you'll be lost. Even I explain, I might as well get myself in the wrong position. Okay, all right, so that is what I need to share with you later. Okay, wow, who's giving me so much love finally? Thank you so much. Okay, all right, so of course our Susan go live. She's still doing a great job. Susan now is doing a great job. A lot more people come on board, and of course she gives very good calls. All right, and of course people make money. All right, people who basically are having difficulty to understand the system on their own now are doing even better after listening to Susan. So that's why Susan Go Live is really a very important segment for us. Okay, so guys, if you really want to, get a grasp of what you learn, then you can go with Susan Go Live to learn from her. Okay. All right, let me just see. Wow, now she have 206 members already. Keep on increasing. Susan, like the US stock market also, I'll keep on increasing. Okay. All right. Okay, now we want just to do a housekeeping, right? We have donated total 1,500 cans of food stuff. Congratulations. Thank you so much to all of you. Right, it's congratulations to us because we did a good job. And now people like Uncle, they are already able to have meals. And of course, the needy family, they are very happy, right? We went down there, we saw how the food from the heart, they distribute in their bags to people. All right, I think that is really very good because you really want to help back society. I think it's something that we are doing it for you guys. So from the packing, right, imagine we had to go and pack up everything. Then after that, we had to load down from the staircase. Our staircase is quite dangerous, and yesterday we have some bit of waterfall. Okay, so they had to carry down the thing, and then we had under the scorching sun, we had to unload into their loading bay because they didn't have manpower to help us, and then we have to push up. This is like no joke. Okay, and after that we had to load for them. So it was a very lovely experience that we really enjoyed ourselves. I would love that more people join us, but because of the crowding effect, luckily we didn't have more than 5 because the place was full of people. And I think because of Mothership, they did a great job. A lot of organization came in and donated stuff. So, for us, our little bit doesn't really carry us. They come in pallets and trucks and lorries. But I still think that it's all from the heart that is more important. So thank you guys. Now, for all our new students, right, this is not our first time doing this. We're not doing this because we get points or brownie point. We're doing this because I think that from the very beginning, we always talk about family. And family, we have internal, we have external, and we have outsiders, all right? So we can actually help them wherever we can, right? So we did one before, back in November last year. Our food drive, this is food drive 2, right? This is food drive 1, the first one. We donated 800 kilograms of rice and more than 50 bottles of oil, remember? All right, so many of us, we all contributed, and better still, you all bring down rice, 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms, bring to the office, and then we went to NTUC to buy even more stuff, and then we deliver. And of course, then Yao Tong also joined us back then. So this is really love lah. I mean, think about this. Which school in Singapore do like that? I mean, maybe they donate some money, but to physically do all this thing itself, right? That really, I think, feels better, right? I think that makes a lot of sense, right? What do you agree? If you guys think that we've done a good job, right? Can you key the word "good job done" into the group chat so that at least all the people involved, right, all the people who contribute will feel that, hey, we've done the right thing, all right? Not for me, not TWB. It's for people who donate, okay, and those people who send it directly, all right? You think that it's a good job done? Kindly keyword "good job done" right now in the group chat, okay? All right, I think that will be very lovely to see, and a very, you know, people can see that, okay? Wow, thank you, thank you. Okay, I see a flood of "good job done" messages coming down. Fantastic, thank you, Gary, Noel, Kathy, Chong Ming, thank you for your contribution after you won the England game to England game, Italy game thingy. All right, thank you so much, Chong Ming. It's really come from the heart that you're doing all this. Really appreciate that. Thank you, all of you. Okay, I tried to click all the likes here. Sorry, I would love to keep a love button, but you know, like faster a bit. Love button must wait for a while. Okay, and of course, this is our TWB team back then. Look at it. Wow, everybody really put in heart and soul to do that. All right. So will we have one more again? Well, definitely. I'm quite sure in another 2-3 months again, we can do another food drive. We keep on doing this lah. Hopefully, right, we can do more and more to help back in the society. I mean, money donation is something that we can do it anytime. But food donation drive, right, where you do physical handling of the food and you bring down, I think that really have a very special feeling there. Okay. All right. All right. So while we are also looking at this itself, right, we also have a very incredible moment. Okay, we can see that in local and global news right now, we have the Italy. All right, what we have is that, okay, let me just take out this. Okay, the Italy and England fans film fighting in the street. All right, a huge brawl after the England 2020. Now, just a joke here. Don't get offended. All right, a friend of mine was just telling me during the semi-finals. He said, "Hey, Kel, how come this time around the English fans very well behaved?" I said that because they haven't lose yet, ma. All right, that was a joke lah. So because they haven't lose yet, so they are doing very well, right? So what happened is that, ayo, okay, look at it. All right, now there was some footage, I think Uncle Sam has brought out, right? A literal child get punched by a full-grown man. Yeah, one guy was like 1.9 meter tall, towering over the guy, bang, hit one on the head. And another guy, I don't think he's Asian, but he looks like from different ethnic, right? He was kicked repeatedly by the head by several people. It was really crazy. I mean, I don't want to play this. Oh, sorry. So I'm not going to play this because I don't think it is nice. But I can show you this, how the police reacted. Okay, now watch this. Okay, I'm showing all this not because I'm showing you the fight and stuff. I want you to take notice at all the policemen. You notice that, but all the policemen, they don't wear masks, you know that? So they're handling crowd and people just slurring, shouting, salivas, I'm sure it's everywhere from different parts of the world. We're talking about England, we're talking about Italy, you know? Seriously, that is just these two countries alone. I'm sure there's more other fans inside there. Oh my goodness. I mean... There are so many police there and none of them is wearing masks. So that's why my point is this. You can see here, right? I'll show you a bit again. You see all the policemen, none of them wearing masks. None, totally none. Okay? All right. I mean, these are helmets lah. I mean, I hope that it protects a little bit, but it's more for the head. You're scared of the what they call the stone throwing and stuff like that. Okay, all right. Anyway, my point is this is one part of the ugliness of football, and apparently usually from one particular country. But what I'm very afraid is the way that the police handle this without wearing masks. Okay, so my point is, so I dig a little dig on here itself, right? So it seems that, right, we all know that England is going to have their end of the rules of lockdown on 19th of July with a Freedom Day, all right? So which means that everybody will be taking off their masks and they'll be running around and doing stuff. So I began to check whether I did get anything wrong here. Then I realized that look at the numbers of new cases in UK is really going up. And apparently, and we're looking at what again? They're going to have this on the 19th of July, 6 days later. So it's like, okay, question mark, question mark. And of course, the only reason is because the death is very low. So as long as the deaths are low, they take it as this is like a common cold. And yes, indeed, you may get sick, but as long as you have the right ventilation, medicine and medication to assist you, then maybe it's not that bad. So I think that is why Boris Johnson is looking at this, because we may have people falling sick and it's going to stop this happening. But as long as death is not really at a high level, sometimes we can just close one eye or if not two eyes. So that is what I'm seeing right now. And I hope that this is really a good strategy, because seriously, if not right, I'm really waiting for this England vaccine, okay? Because I cannot deny that, wow, I'm quite impressed with them handling everything without wearing masks. All right, now China is going to inject in 150 billion into the economy, and we all know that, and that should fuel a short-term rally. So they have already cut the reserve requirement by 50 basis points. So that will release 154 billion US dollar into the economy. But again, some people are not very keen, and they think that this is actually a very dangerous move. They think that because China is not doing well, that's why it must do this. Now, this is very propaganda, because we all know that CNBC is right, sometimes a little bit skewed towards the against China, because we can see some of the articles. So I need to share this with you. But if you look at the stock market on its own, then it'll be a different thing altogether, right? So now you can see now the Hang Seng is trading higher right now. Hang Seng, you can see that. Now, Hang Seng this morning opened slightly gap up, right? Then I told you that because the KSI is green in color, and of course, once the Hang Seng crossed the pivot one, which is 27693, see Hang Seng straight away goes up already. So that's why you really need to follow rules. All right, you can see that, beautiful, okay, very beautiful. And of course, if you look at China A50, it also had rallied earlier, was down, right? But now it crossed the MLP of the day and it's trading upwards. But of course, this upwards is not as crazy as we saw back then, this movement here. So kind of like limited. I cannot deny this. When you do cut reserve ratio, right? Short term, you give like steroids to the market because of a sudden increment of the liquidity. But on the flip side, by doing that, the bank shares get affected. And of course, the repercussion in the bank get affected. They will also likely tighten up their credit facility, and they may even cause more problems. So that's why sometimes in life, right, when you do it the easier way, right, things may not be accepted immediately in a proper manner. Okay, so that's what's happening in China. And of course, tonight we have the core CPI. We're waiting for that. So tonight, my forecast is I see 0.5. Okay, I suspect we'll see 0.5. Now, of course, if the core CPI is 0.6 or 7 and above, then of course we have some problem. Okay, that will give us another inflation uptick point to watch out for. Then after that, tomorrow is PPI. Then after that, on the Friday is retail sales. All right, that will basically give us a potential stagflation, what they call fear, if this is all turn out negative in terms of what versus the expectation. Okay. All right, so that is the morning Dow Jones. Morning Dow Jones, once again, once it opened, straight away went to the went to the high level of 35,000, missed by a bit. Then it stretched itself from almost 11 p.m. Singapore time all the way to 3 a.m. Singapore time for 4 hours. It just goes sideways. Then after that, okay, all right. And what if no mask? COVID is good for stock market. Well, I say yes, indeed. I'm not going to argue with you than that. It has been proven. That's why seemingly that without mask is fine. So that's why we should tell our government to now stop wearing masks. Is that correct, Anna? All right. End of the day is this: as long as everybody is happy, all right, as long as the stock market is making everybody happy and everybody don't see there's a problem, then it's fine. Seriously, end of the day is always like that, all right? Because that is how the politicians are doing right now to make sure the stock market is good. As long as the market is good, business is there, why not? All right, so we should take off all our masks, isn't it, Anna? Okay, so the Dow Jones now went up by 120 points to close just shy of 35,000. All right, on earning optimism. As I mentioned to you, the earning optimism is expected because why? Because you can see that the second quarter is going to be better than the first quarter, that's for sure. Hence, therefore, right, everybody is looking at now whether the third quarter will be as good as the second quarter, okay? But because people buy on expectation, so kind of expect that they are saying, like example, like travel industry, they expect if let's say more reopening of economy, then definitely for sure, okay, definitely for sure, things will be better. All right, so if let's say more people go to travel, more around people go around, do businesses, then of course, all this industry will come better, okay? All right, so that is what everybody is looking at right now. So do note again, like I said, JP Morgan, Chase, and Goldman Sachs are the one going to be leading the charge this today. And of course, many investors are all having this expectation of blockbuster earning result, okay? So all the day is that do expect the earnings to be good, all right, all across the board. And of course, we're also looking at all the inflation numbers like on Tuesday to Wednesday, and of course, Friday retail sales. And Jerome Powell will be again talking, okay, on Wednesday and Thursday. So again, guys, Jerome Powell will still be talking. So overall, you know, when Jerome Powell speaks, right, there's always two things will happen. The market will pull back first, then after that it will rally up again. So obviously, this thing will just repeat on its own. Okay, so we just stand by to do the same thing again and again. Okay, all right. So that is the okay, that's what happened. And of course, news-wise, we're all anticipating a market just entering now into the earnings zone. Okay, so traders, to note this week we have a lot of earnings coming up. All right. Okay, so let's just review what happened. Oops, sorry. Let's just review what happened in the market right now. Yesterday, the Dow Jones. So same thing again. The opening price of the Dow Jones is actually between the two pivot, and the KSI was green in color. So I repeat myself many times. As long as the market is above OP, when the KSI is green and is the opening price is between the two pivot, just look out for trigger, and then if possible with BNB. All right. So once you have a trigger, a CCRY, and come with a trigger and with BNB, then of course, usually things will be good. And because KSI is green, if the market go down to KTR -1 to KTR -3, then maybe the market, once it hit there, likely it will do a CCRY to buy up. Okay. So that is what you can know from the market opening price. Okay, once the market open, you will know all this, you can do all this. So let's see whether they all really happen. All right, so at the start of the day, the market couldn't stay above the opening price and start to come down all the way. Now, until here, it's supposed to stop right at KTR -1, but you notice that there was no stopping, it went lower, okay, fine. Then after that, it went sideways for a while. Now, this is where things have to change around. CCRY kick in, but there were no trigger point until here, right? So by right, you shouldn't have entered here because there's no trigger point at the color change. Then you realize that it went sideways for a while before the cash market opened. But once the cash market opened, this one is a BNB, all right? And of course, the market also triggered the opening price, and that causes the Dow to go all the way up. So the BNB did come out, and it did trigger the KTR -1. But just that it came off a little bit later, much later after the color change. So question is, can we buy this Dow? Well, if you want to buy, you can buy somewhere here. At least when it trigger above the KTR -1, you buy there and stop loss put here. That will be a better bet. But if you ask me, this trade, is it a good trade? Well, if you notice this entire color change setup, there's no BNB. So usually without BNB, I'm not that comfortable. But the next bar was a BNB, FYI. The next bar was a BNB, but it went down instead. So overall, this particular trade, if you ask me to buy, right, based on rules, there was nothing there. If you ask me only when this happened, this one here, can you see this guy? Now, do you notice that this guy is a BNB? All right. Now this CCRY is a bit of discretional trade already because this CCRY already happened for quite a while. But if you tell me, Cal, is this a buy? I will tell you that based on rule, it's still within a buy because the CCRY entirely is here. Just that the distance from entry is a bit far away, so it's a bit discretional. But because the BNB is around and it did trigger the KTR -1, if you buy, your stop loss is advised to put here, but it's a bit too near, right? So put here will be better. So this is your entry, this is your stop loss. But if you have done that, well, nicely, the market still give you the 1x1 nicely for you, 1x. Okay, so this is how we can see from the Dow trading yesterday. So yesterday was not a very straightforward trade, but it's still how you can do it yesterday just by doing this. Okay. All right. Any question on this? All clear? Okay. If all clear, please key number 1 for me, Ken, so that at least I know that you guys are with me on this. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Okay. So with that, we understand the Dow Jones. Let's cross back to the financial market right now. Now, China A50 is still hanging above the MLP. So as long as you hang above MLP, things are still okay. Hong Kong. This is Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong MLP yesterday was very tight. And yesterday was a doji. So naturally, if today it should be a directional day, not too sure you all caught it. Yesterday is a doji, so today should be a directional day, and the market chose upside. So that's why you see the Hang Seng market all the way up by 300 points already. All right, so that is the power of the doji directional day theory. All right. Okay, my neighbor is doing some renovation right now. But of course, the MA30 is still showing clearly. The MA30 and the MA200 is still way above the market. So the downside pressure is still there. So traders stay long, but do take profit periodically along the way up. That is what you should be doing when the market is not with you at this moment right now. Okay, got the idea? Okay, thanks. All right, so let's look at the Dow Jones now. Now, the Dow Jones, you can see that we are not at the all-time high yet, but because of closing, you see, the closing on the last time when the market hit the 35,092, right? It went up high, but closed low. Can you see that? So yesterday's closing, right, was theoretically, right, the highest closing for the Dow Jones. That's why if you are lost here, how come the market didn't hit the new high, right? It's based on closing, record closing. Yes. All right. So that's why we are not at all-time high in terms of level, but in terms of closing, we are. Okay. So that is what happened for the Dow Jones. Okay. So that clears up the air. Okay. Now the question is this: the Dow Jones, I do expect it to go past. This is the BNB. Remember? Sorry. Yeah. This is the BNB. Can you see that this is the RL and this is the a bit noisy, yeah? Okay, so let's just try to turn up volume. All right, so RL and SL, and of course yesterday the Dow have closed above the RL, and I've been saying in all the MAOs, I say that the Dow is still very bullish at the moment. All right, so as long as the market can stay above the RL, the Dow will go higher. So of course, we're talking about potentially here from the SL to the RL, we're talking about 400 points. So there is a possibility for the Dow Jones to see 35,200, to see that happening. All right, if the Dow Jones continue to march up, all right, 35,200, please take note of that, okay? All right, and I will just want to clarify once again, right? Remember, I talked about this MA30. As long as the market stay above the MA30, is very bullish. Okay, I've been saying the same thing repeatedly, and I hope that people who are who are making money on the long side, right, are making money, and those who are on the bear side, all right, hope you took my advice to either hedge your position, or or you just have to go cut your short and turn long back then. But now at this junction here, if you tell me, Cal, now on turn long, right, I will tell you to be very careful, because now it's very far away from the point of support. Then you must know that there's also downside risk, okay? So please do not just, because now you are in a losing position, you freak out already, you feel like cutting a position. That is going to be a very wrong way to do. Trading is about getting yourself at the right time in terms of the reason for buying and reason for selling. At the moment now, there's no reason for buying at the moment here, okay? All right, so must take note of that. Don't get yourself in the wrong side of the market. Okay, the weekly chart, well, we can see very clearly the weekly chart is still showing that the Dow Jones is staying above the BMB of last week. So that's why it's still pretty bullish. So you look at the short-term trend that I draw, right? Other than we have a sell-off last about 5 weeks ago, then the market very fast recover, right? So this short-term trend line, you realize that it's still firming nicely on it. So unless we see another sell down below the short-term trend line, if not itself, right, there's no reason for the Dow to come down. And I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks. I'm not too sure why people still misunderstand me about whether I'm bear or bull. I say that it's still bull at the moment until the balloon bursts. It's just like telling you right now, the balloon is so big, you don't want to go near the person, that's all, but you get bigger. It will be a time whereby it grows so big, then it bursts, then you're like, oh, I shouldn't stand so near the guy. But before that happened itself, right, that's what you're saying right now, okay? All right, so I clarified this. I hope you guys can understand what am I sharing. Okay, so let's continue. A bit noisy, but we still continue with this. Dow Jones for today. Now, Dow Jones for today is still the same thing. The Dow Jones for today, the opening price is actually between the two pivot 1 and pivot 2. And the KSI is green in color. So therefore, same thing again. If the Dow Jones stay above OP with CCRY and it triggers something with a BMB, the upside potential is 35,165. Okay. Now, if the Dow Jones goes below OP, then of course the selling will bring down a little bit to KTR -1 to KTR -3. Now you notice that when I come to KSI is green, right? I will only tell you that, where to look out for potential U-turn sign, because when KSI is green, what you are looking for is come down and then rebound for you to buy. You will not hear me say that come down, look for sell, unless the market triggers below pivot 2, and then it's different thing altogether. But for now, right, it's actually for buying, okay? It's for buying, okay? So are we clear with that? This is very, very important. And of course, this is also the zebra that we draw, right? This is a zebra formation, yellow, red, yellow, red. So that means that if the market for the Dow to go higher, right, the zebra formation do says that the Dow can go up by, even as high as about 35,500. So it is possible if you talk about just purely zebra effect. Okay, so that is the Dow Jones. With the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ continue to climb, like I mentioned to you, all right, like what this Tom Lee have said on Fundstrat. He believes that other than expect this turbulence in July month, but the FANG stock will still be the one in what they call in the limelight. So now what we can see, let's just bring away. This is the BMB, right? This is the BMB, the high and the low. So if the NASDAQ continue to go higher, it will go somewhere like this. So let's do the mathematics. So this is 170 points. So 14,970. Okay, that means that if the NASDAQ is to trade higher, there is a possibility for the NASDAQ, all right, the NASDAQ, right, to trade up to 14,970, right, somewhere at the much higher level. Okay, now the NASDAQ is 14,890, so it's about 80 points away. Okay, that is the first thing to think of. Okay, this is the MA 30, very far away. All right, you can imagine that, a moving average is a way to inform you. That's why it's so bullish right now. But on the flip note, right, when it's too far away from the moving average, right, usually there could be some profit taking, which it could happen. Okay. All right. Now for the Dow Jones, for that. Okay, let me do something. I see if I can help or not. Hold on. Okay, I mean, I just try to close the glass door. I mean, I don't think it will do much help, but you have some resistance, okay? It's just my right beside our office space. They're having a renovation right now. Someone's moving in. Okay, so from here, we can see very clearly that the NASDAQ is still likely going to go higher. All right, if there's going to be any support, you can look at the BNB SRL level as a form of first support, which you can see very beautiful yesterday. The NASDAQ did that. He came down all the way to the BNB RL level and stopped there and reversed itself to go higher. So this tells you the BNB RL can be used as a form of support, okay? All right, then we look at the chart right now for the NASDAQ. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the NASDAQ at the moment for today. The NASDAQ also, the opening price is between the two pivot. KSI is also green. So everything looks good. There's a good chance that the NASDAQ could be going higher all the way to 14,934. Okay. All right. This is what will happen for the NASDAQ if it stays up for today. And the S&P 500. The S&P 500, this is the BNB. All right. The S&P 500. So S&P 500 is, again, yesterday, rocks new all-time high once again. So everything is just being pumped up and pumped up. Although you can feel that the type of pump up is kind of like squeezing, and just to make sure that the closing is just higher than the day before. All right, it's very clear. There's a lot of market manipulation. I'll explain to you later on in the second half of MAO. All right, but still, like I say, guys, you don't want to fight with the Federal Reserve or the market. As long as they want to buy, just stick with the flow. So for MLP for today is 34.78. For the S&P is 34.78. The BNB RL is 43.78. Sorry, the BNB RL is 43.57. So there are two numbers to watch out for the S&P 500. Okay, I write down for you. The first MLP support is 43.78, and the RL will be 43.57. Okay, so two numbers for S&P for today. Okay, all right. For the MA30, it's very far away. It's about 43.05. I don't think you'll go there so fast, but this Morgan Stanley CIO is saying something different. So later on, if you want to hear more about this guy, what he had to share, you stay tuned for the second half of the MAO, okay? All right, okay, let's continue. All right, let's look at Hang Seng again. Hang Seng is still marching up higher. It's off the highs a little bit, but overall, it's still pretty strong on the upside. Now, China A50 has pulled back a little bit, lower down a little bit. So the MLP will still be the base support. So we hope that it stays there. All right. For students, the new GM12 students, right? MLP is not inside your e-learning portal. I will talk about MLP. I put a video or upload to the e-learning portal probably this weekend. Okay. If not, I'll just put a video first in the GM12 for you to just understand this. All right. It's an add-on. It came from PTP side. PTP is the professional trader program where students go for the advanced level. I'll talk to you, I'll share more with you later in your own GM12 group. Okay. Now, NASDAQ, done already, A50, DAX. Sorry. Now, DAX, wow, look at it. Uncle Arun, are you here? All right, yesterday we talked about the MA30 on the DAX, and voila, look at it, the way it went up all the way. All right, so the MA30 really show its power. It went all the way up and it stabilized at MA30 and go higher. So for today, the MA30 is so powerful when you put it there, and that's 15,630. So the MA30 now, the level is 15,630. As long as the DAX stays above this 15,630, everything's good. Now, we are just margin. This is, of course, a new record closing too. So basically, right, we are probably near the high. And I remember I tell you guys that as a level that I'm watching at, because there was a BNB somewhere here. Wait, where is it? Let me just confirm, BNB, this guy, yeah? Yeah, sorry, this is the BNB level. I can put in another line for the MA itself. Change the color a little bit. Okay, so remember we do have the expectation. This is the BNB, right? This is a BNB, and we said that if let's say the NASDAQ, sorry, the DEX is go higher, DEX can go up by 1 time, and this is the target we say, right? And it seems to be happening. We are just marginally away. All right, let's do a confirmation on this. Let's do a precise number. Okay, the high and low for this guy. The high is 15,677. The low is 15,453. 224 points. So we plus back the high is 15,677. We get 15,901. Okay, so this is not accurate. Let me just redo it properly for you. Okay, 901. That should be the level. Okay, yeah, this more looks like it. Yeah. That means that if the market is to go up, right, we should see unfold like this. Okay, so the DEX can go up to 15,901 level if the DEX push up, okay, to go up further. Is it possible? Well, it's just only 100 points away, so it is fairly possible. Okay, fairly possible. Okay, thank you. Anthony, Jerry says the new zebra for DEX. Okay, let's look at DEX, okay, with the TWB chart right now. Wow, indeed, okay. So what we have is a yellow, red, yellow, red. Now, of course, some of you may ask, how come we don't do from the left to right, right? There's a different, reading the chart from right to left and left to right got different. So for us, we read a chart from right to left. So the 4 colors are here. So the highest point is here, the lowest point will be here, right? So again, I'm going to take this away. I'm going to put the levels in to calculate the zebra. So this is the low. Okay, the low here itself is 303. So we are there. And the high on this guy, yellow, is 715. Okay, just very same to the same level. Okay, can't really get it, so I can just try it in instead. There we go. Okay, so very simple mathematics. This is the high, this is the low. So the difference is 715 to 303. So that will give you 412 points. So which means that if the DEX, which we saw already, right, broke above the zebra RL, then DEX can have the potential to go all the way up by another 412 points from 15,715, sorry. So 15,715 plus 412, wow. The DEX can go all the way to 16,127. Wow. So I'm going to just change it a little bit. Okay, so it's much, much higher. All right, it can go all the way up to 16,157. All right. Okay, Jerry, thank you for sharing with that. Oh, gold is now trading at 1812 already. Wow, well done. Thank you, Anthony. Wow, gold is even higher. Okay, 1812. I mean, 1812 now, the high of gold. Wow, congratulations. Okay. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so we are done. How about Nikkei? Okay. Sorry, Nikkei chart. So Nikkei has just climbed above the MA 200 and climbed above the MA 30. Wow, very strong. So Nikkei has climbed all the way up, and I mentioned to you, right, this is the new BMB. So Nikkei has climbed yesterday above the RL. That's why it continued to find strength to go higher. So the entire range from this high to low, that's very big, right? The entire range is about, how many points is that? 28560. Wow, 28560 minus 27390 level, 1170 points. Wow, okay. So this one is a very gigantic movement there, 1170 points. So of course, this type of power coming so strong, right? It's quite inevitable that we can see it going even higher, right? So that means that the next target, this Nikkei can be all the way to 730, which means that 29,730. Wow. Okay, this is a big movement. So can Nikkei go all the way there itself? Well, anything is possible, okay? Anything is possible. Okay? All right, so traders, you just have to watch out for all these signs. Okay. All right, so that is the Nikkei for all of us. For Nikkei today, let's take a look at today's Nikkei. Well, today's Nikkei is also good. It's now trading above the opening price and above the pivot 1. So above OP, above pivot 1, that means that Nikkei has higher upside. And with the KSI green, that confirms it. All right, now of course there's some resistance here. All right, but the market has almost tested one, pulls back a little bit. If you can find strength, it will go past all these numbers. Okay, so traders, just kindly take note of the Nikkei right now. It's a potential CCRY. All right, and of course, that is because I think likely the dollar yen is also moving up at the same time. Okay, all right, that will be all the indices I've covered. Let's look at the commodities. Is gold. Now for gold, we are looking at, traders still looking at 1800 to be the base point. And of course, the market now is looking at the inflation. If there's inflation, then gold theoretically will also follow through. And that's what's happening. So let's look at what happened yesterday for gold. Now the gold opening price is between the two pivot 1 and pivot 2. There's no blue bars yesterday. So that means that gold has upside potential. But then of course you may say, but Cal, then how come gold come down? Well, like I told you before, as long as the KSI is green, you need to just give yourself some time with it. So gold yesterday opening price immediately go down, right? But you know that the KSI is green. So KTR -1 to -3, as long as it's a CCRY with a BMB and come with a trigger, it's still good. So if you remember what I just said, well, look at it. Gold really came down all the way to the first KTR -1. And interestingly, it really did trigger a CCRY and the gold really went up. And if you enter here and stop loss is placed here, this is an X, you would have made back easily 1X. Okay? But there was no BMB, so it's not the best. So after that, you can see it came back down again. And this time around, another CCRY, which you can buy here. Stop loss, put it here. But do note, the yellow bar itself is a BMB. The yellow bar itself is a BMB. So that's why it's a good trade, right? So this is your X. And the market really nicely go to almost the X itself. All right, but of course, the market suddenly U-turn. We cannot stop this. It U-turned down and we got stop out over here. If you didn't take profit fast enough, then it went all the way down. But once it went down all the way down, it stabilized at KTR -2. And then beautifully, again, no HCX and KSI turned green. If you go into buy here, because it triggers KTR -2 and -1, right? This is your entry, this is your stop loss. You can see that the market really almost given back all the so-called the downside. Okay, can you see that? So that is gold. Now you saw yesterday gold was tough to trade. You can say that, all right, but you know, between the two of them, right? There's only one guy that have a BMB here itself. The other one doesn't have it. Okay, all right. Okay, so that is gold. So if that is gold, let's just look at the rest of the market right now. Okay, so yesterday, wow, look at it. Yesterday, the gold day chart got itself resisted at the MA 200, but it got itself supported at MA 30. So this is very, very good signal that if gold can stay above today's MA 200, and that's about 1810, now it's trading at 181, almost 12 already, right? If gold can stay above 1810, gold has the potential to go all the way up to 1834. Okay, I repeat myself. There is a possibility for gold to go all the way up to 1834. Right? Why people are unhappy? Why y'all shorting the gold? Cannot be, right? Or y'all want the gold to be cheaper, is it? Well, it is a potential. But again, you can see that gold has got itself resisted at the MA 200 once, second time, third time, fourth time, right? So last 4 times out of 5, the gold got resisted at 1810 and pull back. So of course, if you can finally close above it, right, then gold have more freedom towards upside, and that's 1834. But if the market really stop there and can't go up, right, and if gold later pull back again, then the MA 30 will be the main base. Now MA 30 today is about 1799 level, a very important psychological level. So I'm going to put it for you. This is the MA 30, which is 1799 level. Okay, so gold traders today should be a pretty good day if you're on the long side right now. Weekly chart still shows that 1820 is still the target to go. 1820 is MLP of the Black Hawk down. Okay, let's look at the trading side for today, gold. Now the BNB, very clear now, gold is trading above the OP and above pivot 1. So that means that above OP, above pivot 1, you just have to stick to the buy side. I repeat, you just have to stick to the buy side. So KSI is no longer, is green, and the KCX at the bottom is no longer there. That means the market actually is pretty bullish right now. So let's look at a quick one at M15 for today. Wow, okay, gold initially this morning opens up, then went sideways, then you notice that the BNB was there, but because this BNB did not trigger anything other than the cage itself, right, CCRY goes up. So there's no trigger, it went up, fine. Now at the moment, gold went all the way up because it broke above the pivot 1 and above OP. Then we have seen this many times. When the market breaks above the pivot 1, right, you can see almost there is a very good chance it will trade higher, right? Not too sure if you all noticed that. So if let's say gold do pull back and stay above the pivot 1, any CCRY by itself is a buy because it already triggered by when the market goes up from low to high. Okay, so the triggering has been done. But of course, if the CCRY do come with a BNB, that'll be even better. Okay, that'll be even better. All right, so that's gold. Then how about silver? Silver today also looks good. The opening price is between the 2 pivot, and now it's about to test pivot 1. So if silver cross pivot 1, silver can go all the way up to $26.89. All right, okay, at the moment now, silver trading at $26.33. Okay, all right, so that is the zebra. I'm sorry, that's silver. All looks good. KSI is green. So when the market comes down, but the KSI stay green, right? That's why when the market breaks up, you can see that the silver price goes higher. Okay, that's a very important thing about trading. Okay, all right, so that will be for the commodity. Last one is crude oil. Now, crude oil is basically having great support. You can see that the crude oil did come down to about $73. But once it reached $73, right, you can see almost instantly it will rebound. So that's why for today's crude oil is about $72.91 for the MA 30. Okay, now that is crude oil. In terms of the upside, it's still pretty intact. Okay, still pretty intact. The MLP for today is about 73, 78 level. Okay, well, that will be all for today in terms of the morning MAO part 1. So I'm going to go to part 2 now with the market alternate views. And I say it again, once again, all right, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. My job is to just tell you the upside, the bullishness and the front part, and the second half, I'll talk about the bearishness and the downside of the market. So, if you think that you do not want to be disturbed and don't want to be influenced by the negative side, then you just have to leave right now so that you guys will not be affected, okay? Now, of course, end of the day is, right, I will just want to reiterate this. Obviously, no one likes to wear masks. I'm pretty sure I can say this for everybody unless I'm wrong. All right, so of course, it's just a protection, really. End of the day, it is still about the virus. If the virus is really still with us, right, even we have seen many cases we have got a vaccine, we are still people fall sick, right? But of course, there's also cases here that those people who don't take the vaccine, they're the one that usually fall sick. So it seems that the having vaccine is still better, right? So, well, if the stock market is gonna still go up, there's nothing much you can change it exactly. Yes, because if the market gonna go up, liquidity is abundant. Whatever you say also pointless. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are almost gonna start our second half. Are you ready? Okay, all right, let's go. Now, I'm not too sure about you guys, but definitely, right, the problem is that a lot of traders is really scratching their head, bears especially, is that how can a market be going to record high without the rest of the counters going record high? Now, we have seen it before in 2008. We have seen the market all at record level, and the stocks are majority at record level. In 2000 itself, year 1999, during the NASDAQ movement, right, we also see the same thing, right? All the technology shares at a high and the NASDAQ were at high. Then back in 2006, Chinese share, right? Also same thing, the Chinese share 2004 to 2006, right? All the indices at a high and the stocks are all at a high. So by right and definition and logical sense, for stock market at a record high, it makes sense for the indices to be also at the record high. But the problem is the new 52 weeks high is now at the low. That is a problem. That means that the number of New York new 52 weeks high counters are so low. So that is a problem here. So why is it so low? Because that means that they are not at a high level, right? So how can the market be doing that? So there's two ways to look at it. One way is that the positive way. Wow. Imagine later on this counter reverse and then go to the new high. The indices will go to 40,000. I totally agree with that because mathematically that's correct. But on the other side itself, right, is that the if let's say we're talking about the market right now, right, whereby the market is climbing, but yet at the moment now you notice that the the counters are now at the number of new highs counted at the lower end, right? That means there's a lot of distribution at the moment, a lot of distribution. And when there's a lot of distribution, that means that, right, the boys are actually liquefying their position ahead of time. Because I can tell you this, right, many people don't understand this. If you notice in all major U-turn point at the high, right, the volume actually not high, the volume is actually very low. And because along the way up, right, the boy distributes the shares or the market, the stocks that they have along the way up. Then only then when they are no longer buying, right, and then they added more short position, that is where things really happen and then price start to come down. But you notice that when the market is about to bottom out, right, that is where the volume will be the heaviest. Because why? Because margin call will be triggered and boys get, the retailer got panic and some funds get hit. And then after that, right, when they start to sell a lot into the market, who's buying? The big boys who sold earlier. So the big boys who sold earlier now will come in great amount of liquidity. They'll buy and buy and buy what the market sell. And once they have eaten their full, they're filled already, right, what they'll do is they'll just wait. Then after that, right, they'll put out some news. They'll start to push the market a little bit. And that will create the synergy for the market to go back up again. So that is how market psychology and how market setup does. All right, now this is from Bloomberg. You can see that, right, from Morgan Stanley, okay, apparently they are saying that, right, there is some form of deterioration in market breadth, meaning that, right, S&P members, right, they are now more than many of them are now at the so-called below the 200-day moving average. Okay, so you can see that, right? The stock market, the indices is still going up, right? But the market breadth is not able to follow. All right, it's not able to follow. So usually when this happens, it's all right. You can see that when the market breadth is not able to follow, the market still go up a few more days. Then after that, it will automatically come down. So of course, now we are seeing a very clear divergence in terms of the price movement versus the market breadth right now. That is kind of sideways. So again, if history tells us anything, then maybe there is going to be a interesting pullback on the S&P. Okay, so this is history. All right. Now, this is Mike Wilson. Mike Wilson is the Chief U.S. Equity Strategist and Chief Investment Officer for Morgan Stanley. So definitely this guy got a caliber. He knows what he's saying. All right, it's a very young man, in fact. Okay, so he says that, right, okay, the market now we have a bit of problem. The early cycle versus a small cap are lagging. So you can see that the small cap and large cap, you can see there's a divergence happening, and the growth and inflation is also shifting. So all this tells you that you need to be very careful with the market. All right, and of course, the current now, the forward 12-month PE ratio versus the previous, you can see that, right? Whenever they are down by a certain percent, when it's like too much, right, it will pull back by average about 20%. So this is what he means. So he says that now at the moment, right, he suspects that the PE forward earning ratio will pull back by about 20%. So Wilson calculates that the rating process is about 25% of the way done, and he fully expects it to complete before year end. So year end, that means that a forward PE is about 18 times versus today 21.3, which using simple maths means that a drop of just under 700 points, assuming that the forward earnings is there. And Wilson notes that the pushback to view has been strong. He reiterated that his bearish conviction remains high based on other moves that they have observed in the market. So he's saying that there is a potential drop about 700 points. Now 700 points is a lot. 700 points S&P is a lot. So we're talking about how many? Now the S&P trading at 4,300, right? So drop 700 points is really, really a lot. So that is about almost like 14% to 16% drop. So of course, can we trust his words? Well, all I can tell you this, tomorrow I'll share what more he shared in his long article. I find it amazing, but some part of it is a bit subjective. So that's why today I don't have time to complete it. And of course, with the delay from the rain, it makes this MAO too long already, right? All right. So I will talk more about this tomorrow. All right. We'll come back on this. I hope you guys can take this as a pinch of salt and take it as a reminder. And I mentioned to you many times before, right? End of the day is this: in any crisis, you always need to see all-time high, balloon get very big, and no one believe you. Then that is where it will happen. Okay, this is something that we learn from history, and if history is a good guidance, we know that. Now the last one I'll show to you is this one is the Saigon. All right, I told you about this this one, right? Sorry, I'm speaking to you. Now this is the Vietnam index. Now Vietnam index have been doing very well all the way until it hit this point here itself at 42.25, and that was where things had to change. And from 1425, you've dropped down to 1296. So 10% is about 142 points. So definitely it has dropped more than 10%. So the question is, what's happening now? Because foreign investors are now the net sellers. And reason given is because they're saying that there are many cases happening in Vietnam, the COVID cases. That's why funds are running around, getting out of it. But to me, it's because you must understand the market has also risen up more than about 30 to 40% in a very short time. So maybe the market want to take profit. But of course, maybe after taking profit, they may stabilize to go up again. I don't know. But at least from now, it does seem that, right, look at other countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, all these countries around us, their COVID cases are going up, and obviously just a matter of time the stock market get hit. So if the stock market get hit, then what happen again? Then of course there'll be repercussion. But of course for America, it's a different story. America can print money, and the people there are very happy with trading. So of course the feel is different. All right. So with that, okay, you can see that the news are not really in mainstream media. I happen to just glance through one of YouTuber. He was just sharing this and thinking, hey, not bad, right? But do note that this Oh, this particular article is already 6th of July, a very long time ago already, because there's no new updates. But yesterday, this is yesterday's market, but yesterday the indices dropped by about 6% before recovering 2% from the low. Okay, so that is Vietnam, right, from there. Okay, all right, that will be all for today's MAO. Thank you for the of you who stayed on, right, from 70 people stay until now. You guys are really the strong power ones. Okay, I hope that I am very clear what I shared today and you guys will be able to make money from it. All right, this is Kel signing off. Bye-bye. Take care.